guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ngosi and I had to jump quickly and be like, okay, you know what, we need to talk about something. Dr. Celiwe Dada, who is a medical doctor, but because of her desperation to be a wife, desperation to be with a handsome man, she did things that no other woman should do for a man. Let's discuss why independent Christian girls hold on to marriage. They hold on to marriage. Now, if there's one thing we're not going to do, we are not going to disrespect her. We're not going to call her out of her name. Dr. Celiwe, thank you so much for sharing your story. It has brought awareness. It's going to educate other people, knowing what to avoid, knowing what not to do, and also looking out for the red flags so that they don't make the same mistakes that you did. Anytime someone comes on social media and they share their story, we should be grateful they are sharing their story, because now we can take that and get a lesson out of it. We should not be judging, making fun, etc. This video is not condemnation whatsoever. It is just to entertain more Christian girls. I had to come with a Christian perspective, especially when she said that she's a Christian girl and he is a Christian guy. They met in church. Then I was like, okay, because at first when I heard this, I was like, no, this is more, Madam Speaker or Wami vibe. They could invite her to their podcast. Nah, me and her, it wouldn't work. Hi, wang mama magati Christian, a lot of church girls are very desperate to be wives. You find a 19-year-old Christian girl saying, I cannot wait till I am or Mrs. It is something that has been taught severely in church, where the woman must aspire to be a wife. It is pressed every sermon, every women's conference, every men's conference. They're probably even telling the men that women want marriage more than you guys. And according to biblical terms, it is the man who should be wanting to have a spouse. Because when God was speaking in the Bible saying a man cannot live by bread alone, he was actually speaking to the male gender. As in, I've created you to need a helper. Guys, they took a rib away from these people. So if anyone is missing of anything in their body, it's them. Biologically so now men are the ones who need the help. That is why as the woman you become the helper. But now in this day and age, women are desperate to become those wives, and not even wives in terms of how they carry themselves. They're just women, but they want that ring so that that title can be changed. They will do the unthinkable. Now let me tell you a bit about Dr. Celiwe, in case you do not have TikTok and you don't even know what I'm talking about. Dr. Celiwe is dating this guy. Now, abanye yazi most social media, what they investigate, they're saying what this guy is actually not a South African national, but that's not the point. That's not the point. Dr. Celiwe meets this guy in church, then they start dating, then a relationship forms, whatever, women, then they get married. While they are married, guy now starts smoking cigarettes. Doctor's like, oh man, I thought we were Christians. Man, what's up with smoking? No, okay, then I'll one up you. Okay, now I'll smoke weed. Hey, doctor is like, no man, can't you? Who's this? What's happening in my household? Then he starts being abusive physically and emotionally and financially. Then guy has a very high self-esteem, is like unemployed, Christian guy, fake Christian guy. This church boy or fake is like, no, even though I don't work, but I want to drive Mercedes. He has a high self-esteem. Doctor is like, no, your wish is my command, my lord. My lord, yet it was only Sarah. I don't even know why. We know you're doing it because your husband is not even providing for you. Your husband is not even doing anything. Guys, for me to call you my lord, you must provide the way Abraham provided. Dr. Celiwe buys a Mercedes GLC, paying that installment because she's the professional in this marriage. Guy gets into an accident with that car. Guy is like, okay, now because it burnt, it was a write-off, I still want a Mercedes. So they get into Mercedes, and guys like, no, I want a GLB, seven-seater. Seven-seater. Now the girl is paying 23,000 rands per month for that car. Abuse escalating, going up and going up. Oh, girl now is telling us to be aware that, listen, this happened to me, and the signs were there when the car crashed and burned. There was my sign, like there was a queue. I could have left then, but I still stuck through up until we got to the GLB, and I could no longer afford the GLB. Then the bank had to repossess it, and then she got blacklisted. And then she cleared her name, and then she got a job, in between. You just have to, guys, other people will post a story here. And then, life is okay. She is telling her own story. She is the one who's saying, this is my story. I have survived, and I'm speaking about this because I have healed. Now, let us unpack a little of some things. And please excuse me if I did not relate the story the way it was, like I was paraphrasing. Let us discuss why sometimes we find ourselves in this church culture and marriage pressure. In many churches, they really do teach marriage, and they put pressure on the woman that if she by a certain age is not married, there's something wrong with her. That is a lie. It comes from the pit of hell. It comes right in the depth of hell, that if you are not chosen by a certain age, it means there's something wrong with you. In South Africa, if you are not married by a certain age, it is because the men do not want to be married. The men do not want to be husbands. And even if you're abroad, the moment women are not getting married is because they either have chosen they do not want to get married, or it is because the men do not want to be husbands. Please, can the church stop acting like women not being married, it's woman's fault? No, not unless the woman said no. You can't force her. But if the woman did not say no, the woman is waiting for, her kingdom spouse, it is not the woman's fault. So it makes women to stay in these relationships and to enter into it is because of the church pressure. Women over a certain age are looked at with pity even by women, and that should stop. Older women should be praying for their daughters if they want them to be brides, not making fun of them that you are at this age and you still haven't been married. In this country where GBV is like this, it is a good thing that you are not married to the wrong spouse. And if you're going to be desperate to have a man, you're going to find yourself paying expensive amounts of money for him to drive a Mercedes. Number two, why you can find yourself in this situation, it is self-love. You as a woman, you have not worked on yourself, loved yourself enough to be okay with yourself single. This guy, according to an old video that I watched, is quite handsome. Yes, he's not good looking, but he's handsome. You understand? And we all know our African brothers, that look that they have, that strong manly look, dark, I don't like a beard, but beard and everything, that works for some ladies. If she is struggling with self-esteem and self-love, that kind of a guy with that look is ideal. And you actually hold on to that marriage because of his looks. You actually hold on because you look good. Even though there was no sex in the marriage. She mentions in her videos, like, listen, intimacy was not a thing. Yes, we have kids, but we were not that intimate. She says it happens, but not because it was actually a healthy marriage that had a healthy sex life. You will go to that guy because you don't love yourself and you don't find yourself worthy. You haven't worked on your own esteem. You haven't worked on your own traumas. You haven't done shadow healing. You will find yourself with a guy that treats you less than yourself when you yourself are seeing yourself as a 5%. Guys, you accept the treatment of what you believe you deserve. That's it. Like, you will always accept a treatment because you believe I am worthy of this. If someone is cheating on you and you believe that, Minavele, other girls are beautiful, so of course you will cheat, you will stay and stomach that. There is something you believe about yourself that is making you stay with a person that disrespects you, that does not see you. There is something that you believe about yourself. And only a qualified therapist can actually dissect, and you can eventually tell them what it is. We can't. We just see the signs. Outside, we just see the fruits. We will know them by their fruits, that they do not love themselves. And that's all that is happening with us. Another thing is church teaches is submission to the point where even though you're educated and you've got the common sense, you're wise enough to see what this is BS. You think, no, but I must submit. No, I must submit. I must submit. No, no, no. You do not have to submit to rubbish. You do not have to submit to abuse. You do not have to submit to someone treating you less than what or who you are. You do not. Submission, when it is taught wrong, when it is taught by chauvinistic men, will make you think that you can't call out wrong when it's wrong. Because if I call it out, I'm going to get gaslit. They're going to ignore me. Oh my gosh. My Lord. And then you're like, no, so let me submit. So he doesn't want me in his car because it's brand new, but I'm paying for it, or whatever else. But he doesn't want me in his car, so I'm going to submit and just drive my car. There's a time where Celiwe is saying that they're going to an event, she would use her car and he would use his. Why? Aren't we married? Why are we not using the same car? If only she loved herself as beautiful as she is. She speaks well, as educated as she is, as the way God loves her. Let us love ourselves the way God loves us, so that we don't tolerate such love. Another reason why you can find yourself in this situation as an independent girl, Christian, God-fearing, however you are holding on to this marriage, is because you fear being alone. Ooh, the world has said things about single people and you do not want to be one of them. You have worked so hard to not be single. Why now? Just because we're going through a season of winter, must I let go? Don't be scared of being alone. Do not be with a person that does not respect you, does not see you, because you fear being single. Fear that you think that the older you get, and if you're single, no one will want you, is what is making you hold on to a dead relationship. Let go of a dead relationship. Your kids would rather enjoy having you being single, you being happy and healthy, versus you being with their dad who does not want you. Kids can feel energy when dad does not want to be with mom, and it traumatizes kids that why is mom with this man? If anything, those kids grow up and resent their father. All the time when mommy chooses dad, kids resent dad because they tell that this man does not want to be with our mother. So mom, why are you there? You are scared of being single. Childhood and family conditioning. Some women grew up in a place where they saw toxic marriages being something, you just hold on, and that is bad. You need to heal that part of you that is used to seeing toxicity, dysfunction, and holding on to men that don't want you. We need to let go of that childhood and family conditioning that makes us stay in these relationships with men that do not want us. You are educated. Thank goodness you are, because you can actually look after your kids. And I loved the video where she said this, where she said, I'm speaking from a point of privilege because I can afford my 3 kids, well, 4 kids with her niece. I can afford my kids, all of them, all 4 of them, versus if I stayed there because now he is the provider. She could provide. Now the question is, if you can provide for yourself, what are you yearning for so much? Because you're not even getting the orgasm. So really, what is it? Like, you understand? The family conditioning, childhood conditioning. A woman must be married to raise her kids. Renew that. Renew and let go of that mentality. Another thing with Christian girls that they do, and that this makes them stay in toxic marriages, we see this in church, they over-spiritualize red flags. Christian girls will over-spiritual red flags. They will call it a demon. They will call it an attack. They will call it a weapon that was formed against their marriage. Girl, This man does not love you. This man does not have good plans for you. So it's about time you just accept and, just accept and you're to know it's not it. I see you. Do not spiritualize a red flag. Him not even being kind to you. Guys, God is kind to us. And because if we have to look at the characteristics of a husband and you look at God, then if he's doing the opposite, then this is just the devil. You are just being used by the devil. Okay, let us not over spiritualize our red flags. If it's abusive, all forms of abuse, financial, physical, emotional, that is a red flag and that person needs to go. I cannot close off a video up until I tell you how you can rewrite your life and how you can avoid this in future. I'm going to read my notes. Do not mind me when I look on the side. Number 1, write this down. Redefine your worth. Who are you? Your worth is not based on whether you are married or not. Come on, repeat okuhle. Your worth is not defined whether you are married or not. You are valuable as a woman, as a person, as a child of God. You are a daughter of the Most High God, whether you have that husband or not. Girl, wena or sharp. Number 2, educate yourself about healthy relationships. I'm sure you're educated in all other forms. Educate yourself about healthy relationships and how they look like, and write it down and then work towards that. Trust the red flags, not just the prayers. Yes, you are praying for your man that they should change, they should transform, they should this, hit with a hit, but also please trust the red flags. If he's cheating, if he's beating you up, if he's calling you by names, if he's being mean, saying you can't come to my car, if he's being mean, saying no, well, if you're not going to afford me, then we should call this quits. Dansekaya, trust the red flags and not your prayers. God heard your prayers. God kept, throwing rocks and stones at you that leave this person. I do not know who this is. You are the one who's just holding on. It's you. At the end of the day, God has said, it's not him. It's not him. But you are the one who's really holding on. Let go of that relationship. Another one, heal your inner child. Heal your inner child. Some of these issues are happening because our inner child is yearning for something. It's time to go back to the inner child. What does the young Oguhle want? Let us heal that inner child so that she no longer wants to attract an unavailable man. What syndrome or complex am I suffering from that is making me want an unavailable man, emotionally unavailable, financially unavailable? I mean, I've rather be the first red flag. I don't even want to lie. Lastly, build a full life for yourself. Build a full life for yourself. Thank goodness this lady we are talking about has healed and she is in her healing journey. This video is only for entertainment purposes and to raise an awareness. We are not condemning her. We are taking her story, personalizing it and saying, okay, we can learn from her. That is what happens in life. Learn from other people and their mistakes and get the courage to find the healing that you need to do. I pray and hope that this video has found you well and you are ready to do the work within yourself. Now me, I'm going to sit down and think about myself. What am I tolerating and what is it saying about my own confidence? What does it say about the way I value and worth myself? What am I tolerating? What is it saying about iworth yam? I suggest you do the same. Oh, if you have watched till this far, thank you so much for watching this video. Do not forget to like and add a comment and send only positive comments to Dr. Celiwe on TikTok. And I hope to see you on the next one. Cheers.